The top 10 best Valorant teams ever, in my opinion. Let's get started. Number 10, EDG. Edward Gaming is the only Chinese team on this list because China has been consistently underperforming in the Valorant esports space, so they really don't deserve a spot quite yet, but EDG I think do. And the reason why they're so low out of all these teams, I don't even think that they deserved to win. I think they only really deserve to win against Lev and maybe Trace Esports. They barely made it out of group stage against Paper X. They almost lost against the Sentinels, and they almost lost against Team Heretics in the grand final. I think it was just a big miracle run, but it was a miracle run, and I think they were a really good team at their peak, so I will give them the number 10 spot. In the number 9 spot, I have all of Team Heretics 2024 and 2025 run. They got second against EDG, as I mentioned, but the difference between EDG and Team Heretics is Team Heretics continued to be good even moving on into the 2025 season, and they were also good before EDG, but they didn't get a win, so they're just barely above this team, and all 5 of the players seem to mesh well together. It's just when their mental is down, they just can't seem to win, and that's why they're number 9. Similar to Team Heretics, in number 8 I have Paper X's 2023, 2024, and 2025 team, and they've been really good over the last 3 years, but as a team they've only gotten 1 win, which leads me to believe that all 5 of these players are good and good together, but not quite good enough for me to consider them like a top 5 Valorant team of all time. Maybe in popularity, maybe everyone loves them, and maybe they've been really good, but as long as they've been together, they've only ever had 1 win, and considering that they've been together for a very long time, and their performances haven't been like the best of the best of the best, I can't bring myself to put them any higher than the 8 spot. For number 7, I have the 2021 Gambit roster. Now, this was the first ever Valorant super team, but the fact that they're so old, the game was still so young, and people were not very good at the game. So, for that reason alone, they cannot go any higher, even if they have true GOATs on that team, and even if they were a true super team. In the number 6 spot, I have Sen 2024. This roster was really good, and it was a pretty recent roster. As good as the team was, they synergized very well, but I do not believe the players were the best of the best. I think Tens is great. I think Saucy is great. I believe both of them to be top 5 players. And I think the synergy, like I said, was really, really good. But considering the fact that it was the beginning of the year, I don't think the competition was too hard, and they had some really, really experienced players, and that's why I think they won. Moving into the top 5, I have the 2023 Evil Geniuses roster. In my mind, EG was the perfect super team. The first true, at least American super team, at least up until now 2025 NRG. I really don't think any team besides a few were as super as this team. As quickly as they came up out of nowhere, the synergy, the players, the aim was everything was amazing. Demon One himself was literally the best player in the world by far. And as quickly as they rose, they fell, showing how fragile the roster really was. But all that being said, that roster was truly a super team. But to be honest, I think Demon One was like the only really good player on that team. And I think the only reason why the other players were really as good as they were was because they just worked really well together. I don't think there's any other reason. That being said, I don't think they deserve to go any higher. Number 4, NRG. Like I said with EG, NRG are really the only, at least American team that was genuinely more, or at least could have been more super than EG. And I believe that they had better players as well. Not to mention, they're a more recent team, and I think, at least in the beginning of Valorant, the more time that goes by, the better individual players and teams will get. So for that reason, I have Energy at 4. Finally, in the number 3 spot, I have the 2022 Loud roster. Now, one of the biggest reasons of why I put this roster so high is because if you just look at the roster now, Aspas, Saucy, Prime Sodak, Prime Les, and Prime Pancata, this team, if you were to bring them together again, would still win, and they'd still be considered a super team, unlike a team like EG. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I have them up here. Not only that, they were a champs team, and they were so good, and they were so fun to watch, and they're just an iconic team. Even if they wouldn't get a 3rd place, if you compare all these teams together, they're just so iconic that I can't not put them up here. So for that reason, I have them in 3rd. In my number 2 spot, I have 2024 Gen.G. Now, I put this roster up here similar to Loud because if you put the players back together, they also would win a lot. And the fact that they're a more recent team was proof enough for me to put them over Loud, so that's why I'm their number 2 spot. And finally, in the number 1 spot, you already know who it is, the 2023 Fnatic Super Team. It is hard enough already to get an international win in Valorant. It is even harder to get 2 international wins in Valorant. But somehow, Fnatic did it back to back. And that is just the reason they're number 1. A roster that can win back to back clearly knows what they're doing. Chronicle himself is regarded as probably the best player of all time, at least currently. That might change, but I think he is. I wouldn't say any of those other 5 players, Leo, Alpha, Durka, all of them, I wouldn't consider any of them top 5 with Chronicle, but they're all top 15 and they mesh well together. And not to mention, it was in a state of Valorant where the esports was the most popular, so they truly knew or had some formula that made them so good, and you can't not put them in the number 1 spot. They're just so much better than everyone else. If you put this roster together, they might not win, but everyone would love to see it, and they would do so well no matter what. We already know that, and that is why they are the number 1. It is zero competition. Congrats to them. I don't know if that roster will ever be dethroned. Anyways, that's it. I'm leaving. Goodbye.